From garage sales to thrift store aisles, we hunt for treasure, stacking them in piles. Hustling hard, making deals all day, flipping finds, turning profit our way. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest, learning tricks to be the best. On eBay we make our name, reselling dreams, winning the game. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest, learning tricks to be the best. On eBay we make our name, reselling dreams, winning the game.
Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. We are live, and I am Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 446. I had to actually look down and get that right. I can't believe we're at episode 446. I can't believe that there's been people that have listened to us since day one, and we are grateful for every single one of you, whether you're an OG from the original 2018 days to now back here in 2025 tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah. Man, we're definitely excited, especially because this is one of our update episodes, and we really love our update episodes because it's where we get a chance to kind of, just talk shop with our listeners, kind of what's going on in the reselling world at large, what's going on in our lives reselling wise. Do we have any interesting stories or things that are happening? And we'd love to, since we're live today, and if you're listening on the podcast, we're live on YouTube. This will be going up on the podcast side shortly after we finish this live. But if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss these, because it's really great getting to interact with the listeners live. So, to be honest, there's times when my stories are a little boring, or Orlando's stories, hate to say it, might be a little boring, Orlando.
Hey, you know what? You gotta keep it real.
But it's great when we got people popping in on the comments, giving us some of their random things that have happened throughout the week or big finds that they've found while they were at garage sales or thrift stores. So we're happy to be live with all of y'all. Look, I'm saying y'all now. Isn't that cool?
You are. So you're getting a Texas draw, huh?
That's right.
So I got to tell you, I need a green screen, or I need to get things fixed. I wonder, do I want to show what's behind me? I still have moving boxes behind me. Like, I have not unpacked probably 75% of my house. Like, I unpacked today. I got my son's room set up. My eBay stuff is still like everywhere, but at least I'm finding inventory. So
no excuses. No excuses, Orlando.
If you're wondering, if you're listening for the first time, I moved from San Diego up to the Bay Area, and I've been here. It's going to be close to a month here pretty soon, and I'm still like not unpacked, not even close, but in time we'll get there. Hey, before we get started though, do want to shout out some people. Want to always say what's going on to Immortality Evolution, longtime listener for us. Listening and waiting person, I don't know, they're in the zone and they're getting things done. Long-time listeners to the podcast, so thank you for always tuning in, always leaving comments. Zizzle Pug, what's going on? Hey, thanks for saying hi, appreciate you. And for Travis 446, yes, that is wild. It is wild. I still can't believe we've shot that many podcasts. Since Mug Life, Immortality says, since Mug Life. And that's OG days. That's like,
yeah. I mean, the cool thing is Mug Life was it was a hot topic at the time because it was like, is this real? Is it not real? I mean, there is some value here, but is it the value people are making it out to be? But we talked about selling vintage mugs. Well, now Mug Life is kind of vintage in the Pure Hustle archives.
But you think about it, you only had like one small child at that time. Like, your family has grown substantially. I have moved. I had kids that were like in elementary and middle school. Now one's in college. Like, that's how long we've been going on. So enough about patting ourselves on the back and celebrating. But I'm excited for all the people that continue to support us and are helping us out. So what's going on with you, Mike, these days?
Man, I don't have a lot of interesting things going on reselling wise. It's kind of just been, I've kind of gotten into that flow state, kind of just the grind of doing a little bit of sourcing here and there, getting my listings done, being consistent there. And one of the things I've kind of just come to realize over the years of reselling is if you're out there consistently, you end up getting those huge crazy finds where it's like, this is the one find that's going to make the year, maybe make the decade. Those things only happen if you're out there consistently. But a big part of what we do is just kind of the everyday. You're listing, you're sourcing, you're shipping items out. But one of the things that I've kind of come to appreciate is that can be success too. Even if most of what you're selling is just kind of your everyday, if you're selling items in the $20, $30, $40 mark, is it something like that you're going to like go brag to all your friends about? Probably not. But as you see that, 90-day total go up, you see that 30-day like amount, because I've been tracking 30-day really to see, am I growing 10% month over month? That's been pretty exciting. One of the things that we've talked a lot about on the podcast is the idea of being flexible, especially when it comes to sourcing. We all have our favorite places to source. We all have our favorite methods of sourcing. Maybe it's garage sales, maybe it's Facebook Marketplace, maybe it's, a certain thrift store, the honey hole for you, whatever that happens to be. And we all know where there's like the one or two good thrift stores if you've been doing it for a while. And I've been pretty successful at the Amazon return store, and that kind of went away for me with not having Fridays available, and with their price increases, as much as like a $2 price increase on their top day. It doesn't seem like a lot when you're talking about, profit margins of 20 to 30 bucks. That couple dollars really hits, especially when, a bad buy, which happens all the time at those types of return store places. It makes it a bigger gamble, a bigger risk. Your risk to reward ratio kind of gets thrown off by that. So I kind of took a hit by losing those Amazon return store, at least until this summer. We'll probably kick it back up once the summertime hits. But one of the other kind of honey hole-ish places I've had is on my way home from work every day. And I don't stop every day. It's probably a couple times a week. But there's a Goodwill outlet bins, and I can kind of just pop in, pull in really quick, look around for 15 minutes. I mean, if I were to stay longer, I could obviously make more. But usually a 15-minute stop can net me 2 or 3 items that I'm going to make 20 bucks on. So it's worth it. And some days I go in and there's nothing in that short amount of time, and I want to get home to see my family. But they just started road construction like right next to this place. And so to take that road just to drive by it adds like an extra 10 minutes to my commute. And then once you get to it, because they're doing the road construction for a while, and it goes in front of the driveway entrance place, it would make getting in there and out of there even longer. And I don't know how long this road construction is going to last, but it's just that reminder of like my normal routine of like, hey, a couple times a week, stop in this place just for a few minutes and then bounce. It's kind of thrown off, which means, I need to kind of now adjust how I'm going to be sourcing. And that's a really important thing to be thinking about, is we can oftentimes get into a comfortable zone, which, of course, the hustle gurus out there, and it's kind of funny that we're Pure Hustle Podcast, and the reality is we kind of push against a lot of the like fake hustle culture.
Nah, remember in the beginning though, I sourced every day, multiple stores a day.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. But like, kind of there is I hate using the word toxic, because I feel like it's taken on so many new meanings in our life. But there is that almost like toxic hustle culture of like, if you're out there and you do this and that, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to drive this. And it's just this idea of like, hey, nothing can be an obstacle to you. And I do think there's truth to it, but it's like ditches, right? You fall in a ditch on either side of like, there's people selling a dream that's just not realistic. And then the other ditch is people who are lazy, right? So you got to kind of find that what is actually attainable and useful. So we kind of push against that hustle culture. I don't remember exactly where I was going with that, but we talk about being flexible, and it's okay to be in a comfortable position where it's like, hey, I have like a pretty good sourcing opportunity. Like there's a connection I've made. I'm pretty much able to source, 100 widgets from this connection that I made pretty much every month or two. And that's kind of one of the main staples of my eBay store. And when you have a single method or a couple of methods of sourcing like that, and then one of those gets taken away for a time, it can really throw off your eBay store. And so I think it's really important that even if you are in a comfortable, like, hey, this is where I source, or this is my connection that I'm getting inventory from, is to have some time that you spend every couple of weeks where you branch out from your norm. So that way, if your norm gets disrupted, you're not in a, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. You kind of have some alternatives of, well, this thrift store might be closed for maintenance for the next 2 weeks, but I've got a couple of alternatives, or I've got a couple of niches that I can really dial in for the next couple of weeks on eBay to eBay arbitrage or something like that. And so it's a really good idea to have that type of flexibility and ability to not be so comfortable and so stuck in one way of doing things. And it just a small thing like that, like, hey, this quick stop now would add an extra 25-30 minutes to my commute home, and it's no longer worth stopping in there for 15 minutes if it's going to take me an extra half hour. So now I've got to find a new way over the next couple of weeks. I'm assuming it's going to take that long for them to do this construction, and so I'm happy that I have other places to go.
No, I agree with you. It's interesting, right? Because I will say in San Diego, I had it good. I didn't realize how good I had it as a reseller until I moved up here to the Bay Area. In San Diego, I mean, I can probably source all day here if I wanted to, but it's a little more difficult. San Diego, I knew the routes, I knew the neighborhoods to go to, I knew who to hit up if I needed inventory. You know, I knew the OfferUp game, I knew the Facebook Marketplace game. Like, I knew it all. Like, I got to tell you, it was easy. And I do remember there was a point in time where I thought, yeah, maybe I could become a 7-figure seller. Didn't get there, but, you know, things ebb and flowed, especially in 2020, 2021. But it's definitely something that you got to figure things out, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here in San Francisco, because it's a whole different ball game. It really is. And I'll talk about that here in a moment. But before we do that, I just want to shout out real quick. Upstate Picker made it to a live. Listen, if you're not following Upstate Picker, you are missing out. Upstate Picker has some amazing finds consistently all the time. I don't know how long you've been on social, Upstate, but you and I have talked for a long time. I think I'm better friends with you than most people I know up here right now, because I haven't known, you know, unless they're people that I grew up with, you know. Riverbend Sales, what's going on? And Silver Fox Finance. And this is great tips here. If you have any questions, you can drop them here. It says, yo, guys, have you ever shipped on eBay a heavy, long item, 75 pounds, 70 inches box length, and it automatically goes to 30 pounds preset that I never made on mobile app or PC? I do the same. Says ask seller shipping. You know, I've never had that happen to me. That is odd. I mean, I would definitely call eBay to make sure to what's going on with that. And they've been pretty good on shipping. I had a scenario a few months ago where it was not letting me ship certain items, and I couldn't figure out why. And then eventually they said, oh, there's a hold with eBay in Canada. This was when Canada was having the strikes, and you can't ship larger items. So that would be my suggestion to you. Sometimes eBay does technical things on their end, but they don't tell anyone. And then when you call, you end up finding out. So, all right. Well, hey, hopefully things get back into the groove for you, Mike. So I'm going to let you know, Mike, that during our random stories, I need to step out. I need to grab my iPad. You know why? Guess what we're doing today?
Are you going to finally do the pick for...
Yes,
for
my reseller genie.
Genie.
We do, and we got to do legit. So we got to do it live, right? So people know who won. So people don't think, you know, we're picking favorites like Upstate Picker or Solar Fox Finance.
We can do it on the screen. Is it something you can we can add as a tab on? We could just share it.
I can't, because it's from everybody who commented in February and everybody who commented on March. So I had to copy paste those addresses, and it's all ready to go on the iPad already.
I see.
So in order for it to go, it would take a lot of work. So.
All right.
Hey.
Next time I'll do it because I can make it show up on the screen and it'll look better.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the fans that we.
Hey, but if they listen to the podcast, they don't know any different, right? So appreciate all of you tuning into the podcast. Hey, so over on my end, sales have been steady, and I gotta tell you, a lot of people were kind of, you know, like, oh, Orlando, you're going back to part time. You're gonna forget about reselling, and I have not. And the reason I have not, because I still hear that cha-ching, right? I still get those sales, and it is nice, right? It is. it's not passive, but I got to tell you, I've not been consistent on listing. I've not been consistent on sourcing. My eBay has been kind of autopilot. I'm kind of ending that here soon because there's some expenses coming up that I want to make sure I can take care of. And so I'm going to get back into the normal swing of things. But I'm just grateful, right? And I encourage everyone, like, even if you're like, hey, you're listening to this podcast, we get people that listen to the podcast and said, that tell us all the time, I gave up reselling a while ago, but I do love listening to the podcast and I still tune in. I encourage you, maybe just dip your toes back in, right? Start slow, like get a few items, start maybe listing, 5 items a day. You don't have to go all in tech and sports, like 200 and 300 items a day, just 5 items a day, right? Or even 3, whatever your works for you. But you're going to say, hey, you know what? I enjoy this extra income. I was able to go out. I was able to go to the movies. I mean, I think about, like, I just watched my son. Like, that whole evening cost at least $80, right? And I didn't throw my popcorn when they yelled chicken jockey. Like, I
Did you bring a chicken in? I've got a bunch of chickens. I could have let you borrow one for the show.
It was a good time, though. Like, I watched that movie before the craziness happened, right? Before people started, like, throwing popcorn in the air and bringing live chickens and all that. But it was crazy. And, I'm sitting there, and it was like people were celebrating like every 5 minutes. But what I wanted to say was that whole evening was paid for, right? I probably dropped $80 to $100 going out to dinner, paying for the movie tickets, the popcorn, the soda. And guess what? It was all on eBay, right? I did not have to stress about finances. So I encourage you guys, like, definitely, make it happen, even if you're part-time at whatever scale you can. But I will tell you, I did go sourcing, and I was going to do a whole Instagram story. I was ready to upload. And I went to 2 stores. And I got to tell you, it was rough. And I think it's 2 reasons. One, it may be rough out here. A couple stores. I think it's more of I was rusty, right? Like, it's been a while. And I found some vintage toys and stuff. But I was like, oh, like, do I really want to source this? Like, what's the sell-through rate? And, sell-through rate's a big deal, right? I would say years ago, we would say just, if it makes money and it's sold one time, it's worth it. Now I'm like, I will not pick things up that's going to waste my time. And I didn't. There was like a Sony remote. I probably could have turned $2 into $25, $30, but I'm like, am I going to waste my time with this? And I already have items in my garage that I still need to list. So I'm going to be very picky on what I source. But one thing I did notice here is that they don't have the full-on glass cases with super expensive stuff behind. And that could be because maybe like everything's getting shipped out to Shop Goodwill. Maybe that's because, eBay is definitely going more online. I know recently they announced that they're closing 2 big stores here, one in San Francisco, one in Oakland, and laying off employees. And it's not because business is slow. Like, I go to these thrift stores here, and there are people just coming in and out. Like, it is thriving. And I was going to, like, not really metropolis areas. It was kind of on the outskirts of the Bay. And there was a lot of people going through. But what I want to do is I want to encourage those of you that are new to reselling, right? That you're like, hey, I can't find stuff. There is stuff out there. I did find stuff. It just wasn't stuff that at this point in time I wanted to deal with, right? When you're full-time, you're more willing to deal with stuff, right? When you're full-time, you have more time. So you're like, hey, I'm going to pick up all this stuff. I have the time to process it. But when you're part-time, I think you got to be a little more selective. Just because, what will happen is, like, since there's no urgency, right? Since your full-time salary isn't paying the bills, you may not clean up that item right away, and you may end up in death pile land again. So you really got to be careful with that. Hey, but appreciate all of you guys that are here with us. Logic Z, thanks for joining us. First time live on the podcast, and said thanks, you guys, for what you do. And I appreciate that. So yeah, things have been good. I mean, eBay sales, they're not. It's kind of hard looking at my 90-day total because it is not. It's a third of what it used to be, and it makes me kind of sad. But I do think I want to get back to 6-figure status. I think in the summer I'm going to start pushing again. I'll be real with you guys. I'm not 6 figures anymore on eBay like I was, and I'm not saying that to be braggadocious because you have to remember, what does 6 figures even mean, right? For some people, they could be 6 figures and making only $10K a year. Some people could be 6 figures and they're actually making 90 out of that $100K. Or maybe they could be 6 figures, like pushing $250,000 and making $100K, right? It all depends. But what I want to say is that, you got to be comfortable, right? You got to get comfortable in what you're doing, and you got to move forward. Hey, before we move that, I just want to remind you, Mike, that taxes were due earlier this week. case you're wondering,
Yeah, I'm not wondering because I've got my taxes done. It's you that that waits on taxes, which I don't know why, because you've got a great tool available, right?
That is true. I do have my Reseller Genie, and my Reseller Genie does track all my eBay stuff, does track all my Poshmark stuff. It tracks my inventory. The reason I do is I just want to make sure that I deduct as much as possible. I want to make sure my mileage is in a row, all my mileage is set up, all my expenses, and to me right now during this move, it was not the best time, so I pushed it back to October. But I will tell you, as far as all the eBay stuff, all that Poshmark stuff, it's running in the background. It's running great. So if you're wondering, like, hey, should I sign up for my Reseller Genie? I say check it out. Use our code Pure Hustle. Go to my Reseller Genie. Use our code Pure Hustle. You'll get 15% off the first month. And if you're kind of behind your taxes, this will help you quickly get things resolved. Hand items over to your tax person. If you're like, hey, I don't even have a Schedule C, well, my Reseller Genie does a Schedule C now. So you can go to my Reseller Genie, use our code Pure Hustle, and you get that set up. And tune in later on when we go to my Reseller Topics. When you go to Reseller Topics, I will select our my Reseller Genie winners. So check us out there. All right, Mike, give us your random story. I'll go grab this iPad and make this happen.
All right. So my random story is, okay, so I really, really enjoy having my Facebook Marketplace and my OfferUp kind of tailored to my interests, what it is that I'm sourcing. And that's kind of how the algorithm is set up. Like if you're looking consistently for vintage games, or if you're consistently looking for, whatever your niche is, manga, that's going to be what's popping up all the time, showing up on your main page. Well, I've kind of gotten interested in potentially getting a square body truck. I really like the way they look. I sold my 4Runner, which, is really sad getting rid of that thing. And we talked about kind of how the Pedal is the company I use for selling that, and how some people are probably using companies like that to make money by buying vehicles for cheaper. Anyways, all that to be said, I'm in the market for an older car again. And so I really like the idea of potentially getting a square body truck, like an old Chevy specifically, are the ones I'm looking at. But here's what I realized, and this has happened to me a couple of times in the past as well. I have my Facebook Marketplace and my OfferUp algorithm already tailored to what it is I'm sourcing, and then I start looking up something that I want personally, like the square body truck, and then now my algorithm's all messed up. Like, yes, I want to see those popping up because I'm looking at buying one, but now the other things that used to show up first on my homepage, I'm having to do a lot more scrolling to see those things, which is fine because I have some, some saved searches, some notifications I have set up. But it got me thinking, it might be worthwhile if you've got a personal Facebook, which I think is probably the key for sourcing items because people want to know that they can trust you. Same thing with your OfferUp. It might be worthwhile, though, to have a separate account that's just your business, just your reselling account that's doing sourcing. Maybe you reach out to people on your personal account so that you look like a real person, but have a separate account, some kind of like a ghost account or a business account where you're doing just your sourcing on. That way, if you're looking up things personally, it's not messing up those algorithms, because it's one of the benefits of those algorithms in the first place. So this is like probably the third or fourth time that I've been like, dang it, my algorithm's all messed up. If I were to buy a square body truck at some point here in the future, at what point is Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp going to say, okay, we could stop showing him these because he's not clicking on them anymore? And it might take a while because, that's kind of how those things work. But I'd be interested to see in the comments below if anybody does that, if anybody has, a separate account for sourcing items versus like their personal account, so that they can have more tailored algorithm to the niche that they are in. What about you, Orlando? What's your random story?
Update Picker real quick says, my algorithm is all 4Runners. Yeah, I get that.
I sold my 99, man. I'm pretty bummed.
It's a sad day. I remember that ride. No, Logic Z says here, I only hopped in 10 minutes ago. I just did the Bonanza thing last week. If you guys already talked about it, that's okay. No, so we are going to talk about it probably in about 10 minutes when we get to our reseller topics. And so for me, I need to buy things now, right? Like I am on the consumer end. And so I'm looking for stuff to buy. And I got to tell you, I always find that the majority of eBay sellers, the people that are selling on eBay, are not great sellers. And that sounds terrible, but It's usually like terrible shipping times, or maybe it's like the shipping costs. Like somebody was charging, I don't know. I was trying to buy a San Francisco Giants like a dugout jacket, it's like a windbreaker, right? It's not that heavy. They were charging like $16 for ground advantage. And I was like, what? Like who $16? Like I know that's only gonna cost you maybe at the most $8. And even if you charge $8, you could send it padded priority, right? And it'll charge you like $9.50, right? So I want to encourage you guys, like you can beat the competition. Like some people they're selling and they're like, oh, we ship between this time and this time. And I'm like, no, I need this next week. If you ship 3 days from now, I'm not going to get that item in time. And so guess what? I'm not going to buy from that person. I know a lot of people talk about like free shipping. To me, the shipping was not the issue as long as it was reasonable. I personally didn't mind paying it. Right. I ended up buying something and the shipping was like $8 and I knew that they were overcharging, but I'm like, whatever, like maybe they don't have, and a top rated seller account. Maybe for whatever reason they're charging a little bit more, but it didn't bother me. But there's some people that were charging like $20 for a baseball jersey. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay $20 for a baseball jersey to be shipped unless it was like something super unique, right? Like, a Barry Bonds jersey with Barry Bonds signing it and some of his steroids on it or something, right? Like then maybe, right? But I'm not gonna pay crazy money. So I encourage all you guys, be competitive in your shipping, be competitive in your shipping times, and then have that make offer button turned on. There were items I would have been willing to pay maybe $10 less, maybe $5 less. Like if I got some kind of a deal, I would have been willing to, go through on the payment, but it wasn't there. So I'm like, it's $80. I'd be willing to pay 70, but not $80. And maybe they'll sell it. Maybe they'll get the $80 that they want. But eBay has always said that the algorithm pushes more if you have make offer set up on your listing. So it was just interesting. And yeah, I picked up some. Now that I'm back in my hometown, I got to get some Giants gear. Like I can't be going to Giants games with my Padres stuff on. I got to show my true colors. So I had to buy some of that Giants gear. But people miss out. I was willing to buy a jersey and it was top money. And I'm like, I'm going to be paying almost half the price of this jersey and shipping. Like, I'm not buying it. So be careful with your shipping. I'm not saying go free shipping, but I am saying, hey, set up that make offer, have great shipping times, and make sure your rates are reasonable, right? Make sure they're reasonable. So that's my lecture for people out there. And I know people have their own style of reselling, but I want people to make money. And one of the ways is to be competitive in what you're selling. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to talk about some reseller topics here?
Yeah, let's see. We'll see if it'll play with me talking over it. I'm not 100% sure, so let's give it a shot here.
Always organic here.
Always. If people can't hear me, they can listen to the music, which probably sounds better anyways. And then if I mess up, no one will know. Bonanza changing their fee structure. Is it worth it? Trader Joe's totes strike again, and thrifting is expected to boom due to tariffs. All this and more on Reseller News. Orlando,
and I forgot
take it away.
And there was one more thing I wanted to add on there, so
let's hear it.
I'll talk about it now. So I wanted
before, could you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, it was great. It sounded good.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I even tried to bring a little bit of that newscaster voice. I don't know if I did well or not, but
there you go. Hey, I think Mike could do it. Like I think Mike has the voice to do that. Me, on the other hand, it is what it is. But
I definitely have the face for it. That's for sure.
We both got the face. Sorry. Anyway. All right. Hey, so eBay, AI, they're doing more AI stuff. And I think we kind of talked about this, but there were several news stories on it. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe eBay is pushing this even more. So I got this from Digital Commerce 360. It says eBay's ongoing efforts to reduce friction for sellers and integrate artificial intelligence features in its online marketplace are moving forward. The refresh flow for sellers to create listings is rolling out in the US, UK, and Germany, eBay announced, and the rollout follows early testing in the UK. It says the new flow that eBay shared features its magical listing tool, which we know about. Like you already see that when you list, and it's in your description. But eBay says it prioritizes simplification. The photo and title first approach diverges from eBay's previous flow. So as we said before, eBay is trying to get to a place where, like, if you upload a photo and you upload a title, I guess if you put a title, like it'll put all the item specifics in there for you, right? But I still my reservation for this is I think self-similar is the better way to go, right? This sounds great, but I remember with sell similar, and this is just my methodology, is whenever I find an item that's mine that I want to list, I look for the sell similar that's sold for the top price, and I use those keywords. Like I sell similar to that item, right? Because I'm figuring, hey, maybe that had a hand to do with it. Chances are, if somebody's selling things for good money, their item specifics are more accurate, right? And so this is just where I'm like, all right, this is great, eBay. Now, if eBay allowed you to use AI with sell similar, then it's a win for me. Then it's something I want to use. But just be careful. I thought I'd share this with you guys real quick because I was like, oh, this is interesting. I think
Just remember though, Orlando,
Yeah.
every time, because we always are looking for, that unfair advantage, right? That thing that we're doing that nobody else is doing. And I felt like I had that when I was manually removing backgrounds on all of my images that I was posting, and most people weren't doing it. Then we get this new tool that shows up, and it's like, oh man, this tool makes my life easier. And it also makes everybody else's life easier. And it also makes people start doing things that they weren't doing before, which is not great for me, right? So then you got to take the good with the bad on those. So it's like, yeah, like right now you've got a good best practice when it comes with finding the sell similar, right? You're not just looking for the most recent sold, you're looking for the best listing at the best price, and you're using that. So if the tools that are available automatically do that for everybody, then you kind of can lose some of that competitive advantage that you have.
That's true. But hey, we are here to share information to help everyone out. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about our listeners taking our best practices, right? That's a good thing. It's the millions of other people who don't listen to Pure Hustle Podcast. I don't want them to be as successful as our listeners. Like I want our listeners to have that unfair advantage.
Okay, well, we have no paywall, so we're kind of stuck. So it's all good. All right, hey, this Bonanza news, this is a big deal, I think. To me,
is it anything Bonanza big news?
Well,
does anybody sell on Bonanza? I mean, you make fun of Poshmark, but like Bonanza, really?
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
They could say like Bonanza has shut down, and would it really affect most people?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I wouldn't even have known. Okay, but let's give some background here. Okay, there's a lot of new listeners here that maybe have no idea what Bonanza is. So Bonanza,
exactly. There's a lot of listeners who got no idea what Bonanza is. That's so. I don't,
okay, all right. I hear what you're saying, but a lot of our veteran listeners, right? They know what Bonanza is. Okay, they know what's going on. So, in case you don't know, Bonanza is another platform. And most people that have sold on eBay for a long time use Bonanza. The reason we use Bonanza is because it's really easy. All you have to do is go to their eBay importer and it'll import all your eBay listings, and there is no cost to it. They'll just do it. And every once in a while, like one day you'll get this like Bonanza notification, like, awesome, I sold something. It didn't really take any work on my end. And usually you do sell things for more money on Bonanza than you would on eBay. But that's all changing. And it's been changing for a little bit, but now it's really changing. So first of all, Bonanza starts off in their email, like, they're good. Whoever put out this email did a really good job. They
probably
talk about how
ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, it could have, yeah, it probably was. Who isn't doing ChatGPT or Claude or whatever? Okay, let's be real. Okay, but you know how you know if it's ChatGPT?
Dashes.
ChatGPT is dashes and commas. Like they'll do a sentence and then they'll a comma and then they'll do another phrase and then a period, right? It's always like this, and like they'll add something. And you see the flow like that.
Maybe. I mean, I guess because I did that before. I was really big at putting like dependent clauses or prepositional phrases at the start of sentences.
Big with dashes.
Are you? I don't know if anybody's big with dashes. I mean, I'm an English guy. And I'd almost never use dashes, but yeah, anytime I get an email from somebody that's full of dashes, I'm like, ha ha ha, I caught you.
Okay, who in the comments just heard the word preposition for the first time in a decade or 20 years?
Introductory prepositional phrases, man. You got to have a comma afterwards.
What is that? You're giving me flashbacks of diagramming sentences. Do they still do that?
No, I wish they did. I mean, there is a resurgence. Why? Talking about we've talked about homeschooling stuff as being like Bolos. We're not at our Bolos section, so this is a free one here. But there's definitely a resurgence of like a classical approach to education. I know, Orlando, that's something you're passionate about as well.
Yeah, but diagramming sentences.
Diagramming sentences is part of classical education. That's huge, man. And that's I think there's a push for that. So if you're finding old curricula from various homeschool different things or more of like classical approach, There's obviously new stuff people are buying, but there's a nostalgia that people have for that old,
No way, man.
diagramming sentences, man. Oh, it warms my heart.
No,
I love it.
I got those were terrible times for me. Okay. Hey, real quick, Silver Fox Finance says, "Isn't Bonanza the Craigslist of eBay?" Okay, so
Craigslist was a big deal, though. I don't know if Bonanza's ever been a big deal. Like Craigslist has died out.
Bonanza's just been the easy thing. Okay, so things have changed. So in their email, they talk about how they're rolling out new protection programs to help build trust with first-time buyers. At Bonanza, we want shopping to be a joy, not a risk. The program will give both sellers and buyers peace of mind. And basically, if you do everything via Bonanza, so the shipping, the payment, all that goes through Bonanza, you're protected. And you're like, all right, this is a kind of boilerplate, ChatGPT kind of email. And then we get to the final value fees. They're like, hey, final value fees are going up 11%. Orders over 4,000, 1.5%. Okay, not that big of a deal. But this right here is the big deal. So listing fee for larger booths. If you have more than 50 active listings, a listing fee of 3 cents per item per month will apply to listings above that count. I would say most people that have imported their listing from eBay have more than 50 items, right? I have 3,000 items or whatever on Bonanza. Then it says the maximum. So at first I'm like, oh man, 3 cents. I try to do the math. It's going to be money. The maximum you can be charged is $20 a month. So I'm like, oh, that's good. If it hits the $20 listing fee cap in a given month, you'll receive a $5 Bonanza ads credit, our way of saying thanks for keeping your booth thriving. But then they say, if you have close to 716 listings or more, we highly recommend exploring our gold membership for $25 a month, which gives you unlimited listings, Google Analytics, transaction fee waived, and much more. So basically what they're doing is they're doing what eBay does. They're charging you for a store. Now, I would say this is worth it if I got the same amount of sales on Bonanza that I got on eBay. So what I'm doing, and somebody in the comments in our previous episode had asked, like, what are you doing, Orlando, with this? I'm going to give it 1 month. If I don't sell something that's going to cover my cost of Bonanza and give me profit, then I'm out. I'm out. It's just not worth it to me, right? Before, Bonanza was worth it to me because I paid nothing and I would get sales every once in a while. But if I do the math, right, and I'm paying $240 a year and I'm only maybe making maybe $400 or $500, maybe $1,000 in sales, it's not worth it. Because I'm also of the effect that since they are doing ads, the algorithm in Bonanza's algorithm is not going to push your items up. So it could be that you're getting charged month after month after month, and you're not seeing any sales. So I'm not sure why Bonanza did this. Maybe Bonanza is getting money, maybe, but I see a huge exodus out of Bonanza. And let us know in the comments right now, in the live comments, what are your thoughts? Is this enough for you to be out? For me, it is. Now, they did finish this nice little chart. And the chart's like, here's how much Bonanza charges in fees compared to everybody else. But here's the thing, Bonanza, I love you guys. And I've been wanting you guys to sponsor us for a long time, so I don't feel bad saying this. You're not eBay. You can't pull this kind of thing on people expecting that people are like, oh, yeah, I'll pay for a store. I'll pay for ads when you're not coming through with the sales. It's just not happening. So to me, I would rather, if it was $20, I'd rather put that $20 towards promoted listings on eBay to get more sales than on Bonanza, where like you said, what's Bonanza? And that's how bad it is on Bonanza. Thoughts, Mike, on this?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I said like that, can anything Bonanza be big news? Is I just feel like they're not a big enough platform, and I could be wrong. I could just be in my own little bubble, and maybe there's people who are really killing it on the platform and they're not using other platforms. But to me, it just seems like putting up a paywall, because a lot of companies will do where they kind of offer things for free at first. I mean, look, it's even going back to that idea of ChatGPT, right? Or other ones, Grok, different ones where it's like when it first comes out, it's like, hey, it's free. Everybody try it. They get people hooked on it. And then it's like, oh, by the way, we can't have it free anymore. But if you pay for the subscription, you can access it. And so a lot of companies do that to basically say, like, look at how amazing this platform is. Now we're going to increase fees or increase whatever. And people are like, okay, fine, it's worth it. But if you're already like, hey, I make a little bit of money on this platform, and then all of a sudden it's like fees are going up, it's like, yeah, it just doesn't seem smart to me. I mean, I'd be interested to see like what kind of gross domestic sales or gross product or whatever the gross merchandise value of Bonanza is as opposed to other platforms. Even a platform that you like to mock, Poshmark. Like I'd imagine that Poshmark is way outdoing Bonanza. I mean, I could be wrong,
no,
but
it is. It does. Yes. And I just crossed. Somebody had mentioned that they use Flip. We were supporters of Vendu because we have an affiliate link. If you want to use our code Pure Hustle, you get a nice. I think it's like 25% off of listings on Vendu. So check us out in the description below. But like Vendu is worth it to me because in the end, like I get activity from me cross listing with Vendu. With Bonanza, I get zero activity. Like I'm telling you, like maybe in Q4 I'll get like 3 or 4 sales, right? And that's with like 3,000 items in my store. I can only imagine if people have like
now
100 items.
is Bonanza like Poshmark though, where you have to be like doing something on it in order to be triggering the algorithm, or is simply listing enough?
No, it's simply just importing is enough, right? But what does enough mean, right? It means 1 sale a month, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry, Bonanza. I hope you retreat on this one, but we'll see. I may be retreating soon. All right, moving forward. I just wanted to share, this Trader Joe's, the pastel tote bags. I don't know if maybe you guys picked some up, Mike, but these were like $3 a piece, and like I remember seeing here people in the Bay Area like buying them, and there's a news story like people are selling them for like 1,000. People are making good money. Like they're putting the 4 totes. Like if you want to learn how to like sell things and sell things quick, I would just go to the sold listings for these pastel tote bags from Trader Joe's. So according to KTVU, no, actually this Fox News here in Alameda and San Francisco, limited edition pastel colored tote bags are stirring a fervor among shoppers. The $2.99 bags hit store shelves on Tuesday and are available in pink, baby blue, mint green, and lavender. There's a story about the people that are annoyed about the resellers, which always happens. Then it says many.
Well, then if people are annoyed, Trader Joe's just doesn't need to make them limited edition.
I know.
They do that on purpose, right? Like
I know. Many totes have already appeared on sites like eBay, with some single bags being sold for as much as $1,000 plus $880 for shipping. Now I have not seen those.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. But I have seen sold.
See, I don't know if I could trust any news organization that's not able to do the research to find out like what's really happening. If they're just like, and by the way, Black Diamonds is selling for a ton of money. If you got those VHS, it's like, come on. I almost don't trust anything you're saying anymore. That's ridiculous.
But I will say, I did look at the solds and I was like, all right, here you go. Here's another example. Like if you want to make things happen in reselling, you can make it happen, right? Like maybe you don't want to go to the thrift store. Maybe you want to go to Arbitrage. Now, I'm pretty sure cook groups were the resource for a lot of people going out to get these, right? But I remember, I saw a video on TikTok and I was like, oh, let's go check out, let's go see Trader Joe's. And sure enough, they were there. But here's the thing you got to remember, you have to sell fast, right? Because the market will eventually get flooded. And the smart people, what they did is they bundled these. So they put all 4 colors and they sold it for $40 with like $8 shipping. And guess what? They moved their product, right? The people that were hoping to get the top dollar, like $50 for each one. Sorry, I just saw a comment from Rad Relics that said, Black Diamond VHS bought my Lambo. Yes.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, just Google are Black Diamonds Black Diamond VHS Disney tapes worth sourcing, or do that on ChatGPT or whatever.
No, ask it. Do it on YouTube, and then put Pure Hustle Podcast so you can listen to the episodes where we've talked about it.
Oh, that's true. There you go.
Come on, we got to get better promoting our own. We got to do the like, and if you click here up in the corner, you got our Black Diamond episode, and then our Beanie Baby episode, and our Fingerling episode.
We used to be good about that, but you know what? We care more about the content. Okay,
that's right.
That's where we're at. But anyways, I thought I looked at this and I thought, you know what? Again, another example where eBay does 2 things. Number one, it provides opportunity and it brings items to people, and you just got to be smart about how you do it. All right, hey, this next one, I thought this was interesting. So I will say there is a huge thrifting scene here in San Francisco. Like it's big. Like I've visited some of the thrift shops, and it's crazy money what people are selling things for.
Are there a lot of hipsters up there?
Oh yeah, like all over. And I don't want to name drop like some of the stores because I
feel like hipsters have kind of died off. It's not really hipsters anymore.
I don't know.
It's just Gen Z, right?
Yeah, youngsters is what I was gonna say, right? But
The
you know,
Zoomers.
Zoomers. There you go. This is from Axios. Thrifting in San Francisco expected to boom as tariffs increase cost of living. And I don't know if that's, all true, but I will say, like, right now I think China has a 245% tariff, right, on Chinese goods, right? And people are looking and going, you know what? Maybe I want to get good quality stuff, right? Maybe I want to go to thrift store. Maybe I want to go to eBay, right? Because I believe these stories relate to us that sell vintage stuff on eBay, right? We sell quality stuff. Said with the U.S. importing nearly all of its clothing and shoes, more than half from China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh alone, soaring apparel prices could send shoppers thrifting. While resale does well all the time, it does even better during an economic downturn, said Adelaide Meyer, executive director of the National Association of Resale Professionals. Wow, I didn't know that even existed. Okay.
Oh man, we should
be
start
part
an
of that club?
organization like that. We are the global reselling committee of research for those who resell, and I don't know. We should make some crazy title. We can give out
we'll charge some
awards to our
founders' fees.
listeners. Yeah,
People are looking to
I'll
save
get an
money.
honorary doctorate's degree through the university that we set up for resellers.
You know what?
You
I
can
did
start
one of
calling
those
me Dr.
things.
Mike.
So back in the day, I did a loss prevention course. I paid like $200, and they gave me a certificate. Now I do think it helped me get a job, but I definitely did not need it. So somebody scammed me out of $200. So, all right. It said the city is ranked as one of the top 10 in the U.S. for thrift shopping, with some of the highest ranked secondhand stores, and I do believe that. Anyways, the popular secondhand shopping was already on the rise before the tariffs. 35% of shoppers embarked on their first resale journey the past year, an 8% year-over-year increase, according to a 2024 report from OfferUp. A majority of shoppers said they turned to resale due to increased cost of living or price saving. 55% of growth is projected for the re-commerce market by 2029. So reading between the lines, this is interesting. It says during the Great Depression, so we're going back like to the 1930s here. So during the Great Depression, which also saw an increase in tariffs, right? We had the Holly Smoot tariff, in case you guys want to know your history. Consumers turned to thrift stores, but there weren't enough goods until the 1970s when the stores saw significant growth. Jennifer Lezott, a professor at University of North Carolina, Wilmington, said nearly 2/3 of U.S. resale store respondents reported a 31% average increase in sales during the Great Recession. And so per 2009 National Association of Resale and Thrift Shops. So what does this mean? If things do end up, I think, depending on what news source, like some news sources are saying we're doomed, some are saying we're good, whatever it is, if tariffs continue, I think this is going to be great for reselling. I do. I really do. And I'm encouraged by it in the sense that, hey, if you already have these goods locked in and you have them in your store, things are going to start moving. Right now, it's going to make sourcing more difficult, right? So you got to be aware of that. You got to make sure you know your channels. You got to make sure you know where you source. But I just thought I'd bring this up because we've been saying this for a long time, that this whole idea of, whether recession or whatever we're in, people turn to cheaper goods. And guess what? A great place to buy cheaper goods that are quality is on eBay. So I got the same question, Rad Relics. I would love to know what we should be stocking up right now to sell in a few months when they become really expensive or hard to score. It said, I'm buying as much stuff as I can right now. And you know what? A lot of people have. I mean, 2023, I bought tons of stuff. And I'm glad I did because, those prices, thrift store prices have gone up. But now I'm selling those items. So maybe right now is the time to buy stuff, because I do think prices are going to rise, and then people are going to be aware of like the bins. People are going to be aware of auctions. People are going to be aware of other goods. So just be aware of that. Hey, I got a comment from Diana here. Diana Tate says, I took my 2,000 listing of Bonanza down to the 50 they won't charge for, and that will be my test to see if I'm almost tripling their final value fees will result in better ads and thus better sales. You know what? That's that may be some good advice. Maybe you leave your most expensive items right on Bonanza and see if it's worth it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Great advice there, Diana. All right, are we ready to look at some comment winners here? So
yeah, let's see it, man. Let's hold that up and let's see if your background thing won't mess it up.
Make it a show?
Yeah, see, I knew that was gonna happen, Orlando.
Okay, so you're just gonna have to trust us here. I am so sorry. Okay. So I have all the comments from February pulled. Okay. And so I'm going to hit start and we'll have our February winners. What do you win? You win 1 free month of Bonanza. What you have to do is email us.
No,
What?
not
No?
Bonanza. You got
Sorry.
Bonanza on the mind. We are talking about My Reseller Genie,
Yes,
a
My
product
Reseller
that we
Genie.
actually think is worth it.
Yes,
For
true,
sure.
True. All right, so I'm sorry, Rad Relics. I can't go back to the Bonanza thing. But once this is over, Mike will post this on back on YouTube, and you'll be able to find it. Okay. All right, so I'm hitting start, picking our winner. Our winner for February is Ashley Hicks. Ashley Hicks 5615. Again, Ashley Hicks 5615. She said, I am so guilty of listing things that are a total waste of my time just because they were free or cheap. I do think it's been hurting my overall store. Thanks for the honesty. That's a great tip right there. Don't list stuff that's gonna, not sell. So congratulations, Ashley Hicks 5615.
Send us an email and we'll connect you over to him.
Yeah, and you can email us at purehustlpodcast@gmail.com. That's purehustlpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, I love that. Somebody said Orlando has a visibility cloak, and I do. Look, I'm gone now. All right.
Crazy.
Let's go to our next winner. Let me pull this up. Okay, this is for March. Okay, so all the comments have been pulled. You'll just have to trust that when I hit start, it's actually like people that commented. So it's running its through. There's a bunch of people on here. This is Ozark Picker 873. You always comment, and guess what? It came through for you. It says my sales are slow and only low price items selling. It's strange, but mostly old stock. Great podcast. Thanks for the info. This was dropped back in March. So Ozark Picker 873, you're a second winner. Ozark Picker 873, congratulations. Make sure to email us, and we'll connect you with My Reseller Genie so you can get that free month. So thank you,
And
everyone.
it can be your Reseller Genie too.
There you go. Thank you, everyone that participated. My apologies. See, but you can tell, right? You kind of see the iPad. See the iPad's there? Kind of see it, right? If you listen to the podcast, and now I'm gone. So I am going to get a green screen mic here soon, so that does not happen anymore. So thank you to everyone that participated. All right. Hey, before we move on, we're on episode 446, and every single episode that we've dropped, including all of our YouTube videos, have been free. No paywall. We haven't told people like, hey, if you pay, you get to listen 15 minutes earlier. And Mike and I did discuss this in the early days, and it's partly my fault that we've dropped all these free episodes. We probably could have been rolling in the dough now, but it's okay, because you know what? We've helped thousands upon thousands of people in their reselling journey, and a lot of it has been because of our Patreon. Patreon.com/PureHustlePodcast. For $5.55 a month, you get to support the podcast. And when you support the podcast at $5.55 a month, you get to join our Discord. And our Discord, the Pure Hustle community, is amazing. We have all kinds of resellers there. We have Amazon resellers. We have eBay booksellers. We have, people from that do Amazon retail arbitrage. We have people that do used electronics, fine art, all kinds of resellers, all kinds of tips, all kinds of channels on there to help you out. Listen, $5.55 a month, you can't even get pretty much anything at any fast food place. You can't get a Starbucks drink. I'm pretty sure you can't even get a scone at Starbucks for $5.55. I could be wrong about that. But if you
don't really seem like a scone guy, Orlando.
Well, there was a time I liked the scones. There was a time.
I could see you going to Starbucks every morning to get your frappuccino and your scone. Somehow it just doesn't seem like you.
That's not me, but I thought I'd throw it out there. So if you'd like to join, go to patreon.com/podcast for $5.55 a month, or go to the link below. And also, if you're listening to a podcast for the first time and you want to help us out, come on over, hit subscribe on that YouTube button, because in the end, we're hoping to get 10K by the end of the month. 10K end of the month would be great. End of the year, let's be realistic.
How many years have we been talking about getting to 10K by the end of the year? It's been a few years, I feel like.
It's because we're a podcast.
We're stuck.
We're stuck. To the podcast, but that's okay. But that's going to unlock us. We have a lot of merch that we've just been waiting to get to 10K to drop. And so we would love for you guys to hit that subscribe, smash that like button, hit that bell notification. And as always, we're on social media. We're not posting as much these days, but you never know when we're going to post. Follow us on Instagram and all other social media. We're Pure Hustle Podcast. On X, we are Pure Hustle Cast. I do think my sourcing trip, I'm probably going to post on social this weekend, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe I end up with a huge score, or maybe it's not. I always want to keep it real. And as always, grateful for all of you that leave us iTunes reviews. We are the most listened to reselling podcast out there and the most reviewed podcast out there because of all of you out there. So if you haven't yet, jump on over to iTunes. Let people know why you love Pure Hustle Podcast. Drop that 5 stars. Get us back to the 4.9 out of that 4.8 zone. I want to get out of there. Really appreciate all of you that do that for us. And as always, if you ever want to drop us a line, go to purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for all of you that continue to support us. All right, it's time to talk about some Bolos.
Bolo.
What's your Bolo?
All right. So my Bolo, I think, I mean, we've talked about this, I believe, in the past, but I just recently sold one. And just a quick reminder of how easy they are to source and then how easy they are to ship. And that is car manuals. If you are at, and I find the garage sales and estate sales to be the best for these. A lot of times you go to an estate sale and they've got a handful of car manuals for like old vehicles. Anytime I see those, I try and pick them up because usually they're just in bundles with other books, and books are like 2 for $1 at estate sales or $1 each most. And a lot of times these car manuals will sell for anywhere from like $10 to $30 or more, depending on what the manual is. But at the low end, you're looking at $10. And so it's like a no-brainer. A lot of people ask, like, where should I get started with books? And a lot of times books can be challenging because if you're getting into fiction, unless you really know, like, oh, this is a whatever edition or this is like a hardbound that people are looking for, there's so many fiction books. And then even with nonfiction books, unless it's the right book, I mean, it's hard to tell. But if you've got a car manual for 1998 Chrysler whatever, someone's going to eventually be looking for that to fix it, right? Like I've never had a car manual that I purchased not sell eventually. So it's just a no-brainer. Be on the lookout for at garage sales and at estate sales, because worst case scenario, you have a stack of car manuals in your inventory, and even if it takes a couple of years, we're really big on that fast turnaround rate. But those are ones that it's just so easy to list, and I don't mind doing a list it and forget it for those. So I definitely pick up car manuals, especially older ones, any chance I get. If it's newer cars, it's not as big of a deal because most people aren't working on new cars. They're taking them in to get worked on, and you can easily go online and find all the diagrams. But if it's from something from like the 80s or the 90s, a lot of times people will be picking up car manuals because they want to do their own maintenance on those.
But I actually will say, Mike, like even new car manuals, like sell for good money. Like, because think about it, you're trying to sell a car, right? Like I just bought a new Pilot, right? And it wasn't like brand new, but it was 2015, right? And what if I wanted the manual, right? What if I wanted to sell it and I don't have the manual? And I look online, I'm willing to drop $20-$30 if it's going to help me to sell it faster, right? And people do it all the time. And you're right, they do sell. They all sell. Like I right now have only one car manual that I sourced, I think like 3 months ago. But and Upstate Picker here brings up service manuals. Yes, service manuals are great. Service manuals can be huge. Cars, trucks, tractors, heavy equipment. I've had some sell in the hundreds. Me too. Like Volkswagen. Like there are some Volkswagen service manuals. I've sold some for $200 to $300. If you get high-end luxury cars, like those manuals, even the new ones, sell for good money. So that's a great Bolo. All right, I'm going old school on my Bolo. I've talked about this many times, but I know we always have a lot of new listeners. But I just want to talk about baseball gloves. We're in baseball season, and I would say be careful with baseball gloves. But pretty much 90% of the time, you're going to pick up something that's going to make you money, right? I would say the older the gloves, right, the better that you're going to do. You can find some cheapy ones that you don't want to pick up. I would say don't pick up like little kids, like little league baseball gloves. Those don't sell really well for me. But I can tell you, any old school Rawlings, those that have this, the auto pen signature on them, like Barry Bonds or Ricky Henderson or any of those guys. Like I have sold so many. I want to say I've sold close to maybe 1,000 baseball gloves in my reselling, and of those 1,000, I never really paid more than $5 for a glove. I think one time, I remember I paid $20 for I want to say Nokia. It wasn't Nokia. It was another brand. It starts with an N. I can't remember what it was, but I sold that glove for like $200-$300, right? But I paid $20, so it was worth it to me. But baseball gloves are one of those things that like easy pickups at garage sales, like $2-$3. And I would say if you're gonna make like $20 on it, it's worth paying the $2-$3. If you're gonna make $100 on it, it's worth spending $10, $15, $20 on it. Like it because they'll move. They will move. Because you think about it, like somebody their kid wants to play baseball. They haven't played baseball before. They go to they go to Dick's Sporting Goods, or they go to Big Five or whatever, and they're like, what? I'm not going to spend that much money. And they'll turn to eBay. And the nice thing about gloves on eBay, they're already broken in, right? They've already been, there's already been the oil put on there, and it's good to go. Where if you buy a new glove, you got to wait for it. And I've had people actually buy gloves from me going, hey, that's the glove I used when I played Little League. It brings back good memories. I want that glove. I mean, I got some gloves. I just sold a Louisville Slugger the other day. I didn't sell it for much. It was like 20 something bucks, but like it was missing the laces. It was worn out, but it brought memories to somebody, and somebody bought it. So I encourage everyone to make sure, if you see baseball gloves, don't sleep on them. Look them up. Make sure it's worth it. So, all right, Mike, we're approaching the end. Anybody, if you have any comments, let us know. Mike, do you have anything you're looking forward to here? Okay, so I think Mike is frozen. It looks like he's asleep frozen. I don't know. Those of you that are watching on me, let me know what you're seeing on your end, but I'm going to keep moving on here. I am looking forward to, and so Mike just texted me and said, did you cut out too? I did not cut out. It's just me. So you guys get to listen to me towards the end here. I'm looking forward to sourcing. I'm looking to getting back to making things happen. And it's because I've just been encouraged the fact that like I haven't done a lot of heavy lifting, but I still have those eBay sales coming through. I still have people making offers. And so I definitely am looking forward to moving forward, getting back to listing, getting back to being serious about it. And I'm also looking forward to a good sourcing trip. So there are places I know here that do really well. And so I'm going to go, there's a store I go to that like I'll go sourcing and then I'll go grab lunch and I'll come back later and there's still a lot to buy because they get so much traffic coming through that store. So I'm definitely looking forward to sourcing and make sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss what I end up picking up. Mike, it looks like you're back. Are you back? Can you hear me?
I'm back. Hold on 1 second. I gotta put us back in the right order here. Yeah, it's
see those on the podcast that had no idea you disappeared.
I just disappeared. Just boom. And you know what? I had the most profound thing ever. Like I probably said the greatest line of Mike ever of all time, and it probably would have been a game changer for Reseller podcast. And then I got so frazzled when I got disconnected that I forgot what it was. But I'm happy to be back now.
The funny thing is, when you were frozen, it looked like you fell asleep on me. And so it stayed on that image for like 30 seconds.
Oh,
so I'm pretty sure people when they watch that on YouTube are gonna go like, "What's going on with Mike?" But it's that you disconnected. So
yeah.
All right. So I just shared what I'm looking forward to, Mike. What are you looking forward to here as we wrap up this episode?
Man, I don't know. It's kind of the same. I'm just really enjoyed doing sourcing, and I'm hoping. I'm planning on going out to California over the summer to visit some friends and family.
Like me?
Yeah, but you're in Northern California now. You moved away. So, but anyways, maybe while I'm in San Diego, hit up a couple of garage sales. Enjoy the summer in San Diego and do some.
Maybe
garage
I fly
sales
down and we do garage
that'd
sales
be cool.
together.
That'd be fun. That would be
okay.
that. Let's connect, man. That might be something worth doing for sure.
Do a whole YouTube
a reunion, a Reseller podcast reunion, which is crazy because it's been over 2 years now, man.
I know. Maybe we go even all out and do like a meetup. How about that?
Yeah, I don't. My wife has plans already for our vacation. I don't know if that's gonna work out. But
I know. But listen. That meetup was fantastic when we had that meetup.
Hey, I'm telling you, Central Texas is a good place.
You're right. You might be right. So, all right. Well, that's good. Hey. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Thank you for the comments. Thanks for sticking to us. Thank you for those of you that have been here since the beginning. To those of you that are new, appreciate all of you. Looking forward to always seeing you on these lives when they drop. And with that being said, make sure to be real.
Be relevant.
And be reselling. Late.
Peace.